This has been quite a trip, hasn't it? There are also little ants crawling on my camera right now, which is so funny. I don't even know how they got there. It's just another thing that randomly happens in Bali that you get used to. With everything that has happened on this trip, and because I'm getting ready to go, my trip is quickly coming to an end. I really wanted to make a video talking about what I have learned from this entire experience, from coming to Bali, experiencing all that it has to offer, all of the magic here. I feel huge shifts. I almost feel like an entirely different person, and I'd like to share with you what I have learned today. And I just want to apologize for some of the construction noise you hear in the background. Things aren't perfect in Bali, it's just how it is. You gotta learn to go with the flow. You know, I originally came to Bali for the Women's Awakened conference, which was really wonderful. But I had a hard time getting to Bali. From the 100-hour plane ride to and from Bali, getting sent back to the United States, getting held in a holding cell in Qatar, finally getting here, getting bit by a wild stray dog that potentially had rabies, getting rabies shots, getting sick from the rabies shots, and so many other little things, you know, getting moved into like 5 different hotels and places to stay while being here, and meeting amazing people and eating amazing food and spirited energy. So much energy has been in this trip. So many things that maybe from the outside appear to be bad, but that I actually have viewed as growth opportunities. And so many beautiful, beautiful things as well. In my mind, every single thing that has happened to me on this trip has been an incredible blessing. It has been an insane blessing. Everything has been good, and I am forever grateful. I told myself that as I'm preparing to leave Bali to go back to the States, I was gonna write down everything that I have learned on this trip, and I'm also writing down everything that I'm manifesting for myself. I'm consequently enough writing it down on my book called Polishing the Mirror, which I've been learning how to do on this trip. Polishing my mirror, polishing the way that I see myself, the way that I view the world, and trying to live from my spiritual heart. So I'm going to share these with you. I hope that you are receptive and that you love them and you respect them. And I can only ask for your grace and compassion because I'm learning, just like you're learning, and just like we are all learning how to be better people. The first and most major lesson that I have learned from this entire trip has been boundaries. That's a heavy, heavy word, and I'm going to say it again, boundaries. I've been horrible with boundaries my entire life. With friends, with family, with everything. I've never set boundaries for myself. I've always kind of let people walk all over me or take advantage of me for the sake of keeping peace, because confrontation is very hard for me. Speaking my truth sometimes is hard for me. Setting boundaries, speaking up, and being willing to ruffle a few feathers if that's what it takes for the sole purpose of me keeping my integrity, sometimes that is very hard for me. When I got here, I did not really realize that boundaries was as big of an issue as it is for me, but it showed up everywhere, in my personal and in my business. And oh boy, did Bali show it to me. You know, upon arriving here, a lot of people kept saying, "Ooh, Mother Bali really put you through the ringer," and I think she did. And it's quite well known here that people who come to Bali have to go through some type of a crazy initiation to see if you're meant to be here or not. And I definitely went through my string of events, and that lasted like the first week and a half, 2 weeks, and my 3rd week here has been simply magical. Magical. I've been open to learning these lessons, I've been receptive, and they're actually sinking in. I've been downloading all this information. I feel like I'm activating a new part of myself here. Even though I considered myself conscious and awakened before, I am reaching new levels, new depths here, and really tapping in to what I can take away from this and how I can grow. So boundaries is definitely my first one. Setting standards for myself, learning to speak my truth and voice myself, even if it does create confrontation, because I know in the end that me setting a standard for myself sets a standard for me amongst other people, and it also helps to establish a sense of respect for not just myself, but for all parties involved. The second thing that I had written down was not to allow people to take advantage of me. And that does also go in line with boundaries, but more specifically, I just wanted to talk about this for a second because more so often than not, we're seen as mean or not nice if we don't really give in to people or help appease them or make them happy. I've always been a person of service. I've always loved giving to others. Giving to others makes me happy. I feel good in my heart when I share what I have with others. When I'm there for others and I'm there serving others. That's one of the whole reasons why I started my co-op in Texas, why I love making food for people. But the thing is that givers always give, and many times you encounter people who are takers, and they will take until you have nothing left to give, and at that point it becomes hurtful. And I realize now that you cannot save everybody. Even if you make it okay, I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that I've made, is that not only did I see that people were taking advantage of me, but I told myself that it was okay. And I said, that's okay, they must need it more than me, they must need that support more than me, let them take advantage of me, I'll be okay. I can handle the pain. I would rather go through this hurt and pain than see them do it. I'll take the heat. But you know what happened because of that? I ended up growing this huge spew of resentment inside of me for some people and some circumstances, and it ended up hurting me more than it hurt them. So now I'm trying to make things right by communicating how I feel and by mending those wounds and trying to practice vulnerability and not have fear of communication or of setting boundaries. For the sake of keeping peace, I understand now that me speaking up means that peace can actually take place, because there was not peace within myself. Whew. That's a heavy one, right? I know, okay. All right, moving on to the next one. I just love how big Mufasa is in this weather. My hair is suffocating me. It's perfect, it's great. I'm fine, we're all fine. This trip has definitely taught me to understand the true meaning of going with the flow. For those of you who've been watching my recent vlogs, you will see that that has very much been the case. Learning how to deal with crazy plane ticket changes, getting bit by a random dog, not having a place to stay, everything going wrong, etc., etc. I'm definitely learning how to go with the flow. Uncontrollable things will happen in life. Never ever see these as something that are trying to destroy you. Every time something happens to you that you don't understand, that's out of your control, use it as an opportunity for growth. Learn how to go with the flow. Learn how to be more flexible. Use this as an opportunity to change yourself for the better. Next up, I'm learning how to let go. Letting go is so hard for me. I tend to hold on to things so tightly that my hands will bleed because I love people so much. I love life so much. I love things so much. And despite so many crazy things happening to me this trip and this past year, I'm still happy. No one can take away my happiness. Happiness is not, the things that happens to you. It's a state of mind. You can have every single bad thing in the world happen to you and still be happy because it's a choice. Happiness is a choice. It's not your relationships, it's not the money you make, it's not the things that you have, it's you. Happiness is you, and it's a choice. So for me, letting go means that I'm choosing happiness and I'm choosing to release or transform the things in my life that no longer serve me or no longer bring me joy. If they bring me discomfort, if they bring me pain, if they make me cry, in a non-happy way, it's time for me to shift the energy with that relationship and move forward with it. Before, I always had a fear of letting go because I felt like that meant that I wasn't going to be able to move on with my life, or that I was going to be sad that I didn't have somebody anymore. But now I'm realizing that goodbyes don't always have to mean shutting people out of your life. It can merely mean a transformation of a relationship in your life. It can be a shift of energy. Letting go of something that you thought that you needed can actually catapult you into something even greater. And you have to let go in order to be able to experience that positive shift. If you keep holding on to the negative, you will only keep the negative in your life. You have to release it and manifest the positive. That way you can move forward in your own happiness. Next up. This trip has really taught me about the meaning of friendship. When it hits the fan, who's really there for you? Who's there for you? Is it the people that you always love? They're like, oh, you're fine, take care of yourself, no problem. Or is it those people who really love you, who say, oh my God, are you okay? I will fly halfway across the world to make sure that you're okay. Ever since I've been here, I feel like I've made a new family with some of the Bali community here. Some of the most amazing raw foodie people. I've made some friends here that I feel like I've known a lifetime and that I'm so grateful for. And I've only known some of these people for a few days, and yet they stepped up to help me. Complete strangers stepped up to help me, to give me food, to give me a place to stay, to show me kindness. And being very honest, and being in the social media world, you see a lot of hate. People just want to take advantage of you, they want to ride your back, they want to do this. And sometimes that can taint your view of the world, and it can taint your view of how you see people. And it was just so nice here, and refreshing to see that there are people who are willing to extend an arm, to give back some hope, to give you faith again when you feel like you've perhaps lost it. And that was something that I gained here, was friendship, hope, love, faith, all of those things based in relationships. I've definitely learned some humility. I've definitely learned compassion, humility in the sense that, you know what, I've had some pretty embarrassing moments here. And I've had to just be like, you know what, it's okay. I'm humble about it. I'm not perfect. I'm human. And sometimes it feels good to be that vulnerable. I've also learned compassion on a deeper level. Compassion for humans and for animals. I had an experience here that maybe perhaps I'll share in a future video that has to do with veganism. Not necessarily with people, but I've also had experiences here in getting to meet other people and to hear their stories and to feel their pain and to show compassion for them and to feel compassion, not just for them, but for myself as well, for all parties involved. For me, compassion is one of the true meanings of veganism. It's so important. I've learned patience. Oh my God, have I learned patience. I think I learned patience on the 112-hour plane ride here. At some point, I was just like, that's it. Nope, time, it doesn't exist. It's irrelevant. And all we can do is be patient, because the second you get antsy is the second that you start getting frustrated. And that emotion is just never worth it. Gratitude. Grateful for every experience that I've had on this trip, because now I can make a video saying how much I've grown, and I can go back home feeling like a new person. I can put my life together the way I want to, and I've grown so much from this. I would not have grown this much had I not grown through all of this. I'm grateful. I'm learning how to be present with each person, with each moment, with each thought. They're all beautiful. I am still learning about Bali magic. There's so much culture here, the people here, the energy here. You know, when I came here, I thought, oh, I'm gonna do healing here. It's gonna be peaceful and like restful and this, and it's like, whoa. Bali showed me a new kind of magic, that healing can sometimes mean getting your whole life shaken up and you having to put it back together. And that's exactly what my experience was like here. I am learning to tell myself daily affirmations and to create mantras for myself as much as I can. Some of the few that I have been working on and that I've been saying in my mind a lot since I've been here are, I'm desirable, I'm lovable, I am safe, and I am magic. Another lesson that I'm learning on deeper levels that you guys already know that I love is taking good care of your health. Even when you travel, it makes the biggest difference. I love that I've been able to keep raw since I've been here, eating fruits, traveling, eating fruits, spending time with friends, taking care of my mental, my physical, my spiritual health. All of those things matter, and they give you so much more strength to handle all of these other crazy things that are happening. Because imagine if all these things were happening and I was eating horrible and not taking care of myself and not giving myself positive affirmations. I would be miserable. I would go back home and I would have given up. But no, all of this is taking care of my health. All of this is important. Every single aspect matters. Your health matters. Health is key. Laughter. Laughter is key. I would not have gotten through any of this had I not been able to laugh about it. Those of you who know me well know I just love laughing. The second I stop laughing, something is seriously wrong. But even when things are wrong, I choose to laugh, just like I choose happiness. Laughter literally lightens your heart. It lightens every situation. It lightens up everything. When in doubt, keep laughing. Whew. Second to last, I'm learning about self-respect and I'm learning about self-love. And I think both of those go hand in hand with boundaries, because the more you set your boundaries, the more that you establish that you have respect for yourself and you show others that as well. That's important for me. I've always just been a people pleaser and done, you know, things to help please other people, but then I realized I actually do have a lot of strength in myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have made the choices I have made. I wouldn't have 4 businesses. I wouldn't be a successful businesswoman if I didn't have some boundaries. So now it's time for me to take my boundaries and match them up in both my personal and my business life and really raise the bar there. Because the more that I do that, the more self-respect I have, which means the more I value myself, and it allows me to reach new levels of self-love. Not just in that space, but also in my mental, my physical, and my spiritual space as well. It brings me peace, and I believe that it will help to heal my relationships with everybody else that I know as well, and I believe that it will help to attract more people into my life who have that same energy and who vibe with that same energy. Whew, last but not least, my last lesson that I've learned is that I feel very at home here in Bali. I know it's been crazy, but it's been a while that I have felt this free and that I have felt this kind of a transformation and this kind of a cracking open in my life. And maybe in a future video I'll talk about this, but I think I may be getting myself a place here in Bali. So I'll just leave it at that. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been here to listen to all of these lessons. I hope that you can learn from them too, so that we can raise our energy together and we can heal and become better people together. I'm grateful for each one of you. I appreciate each one of you and every single nice and kind comment that I get here. Thank you. So those are the lessons that I have learned on this trip. Those are the lessons that I've learned, and if you have liked what I've shared with you, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be traveling a lot more this year. This trip has inspired me to travel more, to share more of my life. Not always just about raw food, but also these deeper life lessons that come, the struggles, the mental, the spiritual, the physical, all of the above. They're all important. I have a little bit more time here. For those of you who want to follow me daily, check me out on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and Twitter. Hope to see you there. I'm also on Snapchat and Insta stories every day at FullyRaw and FullyRawKristina. Alright you guys, I'm gonna go back to getting sweaty in beautiful Bali. I'm headed out. I send my hugs and my love.